we OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, is my guy for real, bro?
Run stuff.
Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. Started Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We are live for another Ordinal hour, and today's going to be a fantastic one, guys. Fantastic. We have so much to talk about today. It's going to be good. So, breaking news though, we got some jobs numbers from last week just got fixed, which is weird, right? 800,000 jobs that weren't that just went missing. I don't know. We're going to get into that. We're going to get it into, we have Jerome speaking this Friday. We're going to get into what we think is going to happen. I'm actually really bullish on this event. Plan B dropped the chart, and he has something big he thinks is going to happen. So we'll see. Tweet from Bob Lucas. We'll go over Jeroen dropped BRC 600,000. Pretty nuts. We're going to get into a little of that. F6. And yeah, I'm gonna go over some runes by volume and stuff like that, trying to find you guys the best investments, not financial advice, but some of the stuff that's really getting beaten up, we're gonna take a look at as well. So without further ado, I'm bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
What's up, man? How are you doing on this Wednesday?
Wednesdays are for pushing through the rest of the week, and let's do it together. That's what I just posted on my X account. I know that sounds kind of corny, but it is. That's how I look at Wednesdays. They're the hump day to get through, and we got to get through this hump of the summer. And yeah, let's do it together. Might as well. We have been here every single day with you guys, so let's push through. Stay consistent with our convictions.
100%. And our good friend Bob Lucas, who we're not really friends with, we love his tweets. He says nothing to see on Bitcoin until September. Still the case. So he did say this a while back, and he had a chart that basically was pretty much right where we're at right now, honestly. So he's still saying September, mid-September, before we see any movement up, which sucks, right? It sucks. What do you think about that?
Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of good things that come in September. Football starts in September. There's going to be some good energy. It seems like energy is swinging back to kind of what we have been thinking about, what that event that's happening in November. So that's also a good thing. I just really think this, even though technically summer doesn't start till late September, I feel like once you get into September, you kind of get out of that summer, lull in what we're in. So I think it's going to be exciting. I don't want to say September is the month that things kick off, because we keep saying that the previous couple months, and the builders keep saying that too. Everybody wants a bullish market. obviously. But September, I'll just say I'm excited about it. It's my birthday month too, so.
I agree with you. I think summer's winding down. My kids go back to school next week, right? Pretty nuts. So it's pretty much over at this point. We're getting to the back end of it, buying school supplies and crap like that. So I'm feeling like summer's over, and I hope the markets feel the same because Bitcoin summer is something that'll never happen, in my opinion. I think it's just something in our heads. But
I have a feeling
BlackRock,
next summer it's gonna happen. 2025.
I'm selling in May. I'm going away. I'll tell you that. No, I'm just kidding. BlackRock buys another 933 Bitcoin again yesterday. Again, like it's pretty insane. If you watch the show every single day, we basically have said this every day for like 20 days.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be the main contributor to the ETF inflow.
Yep.
They have taken the lead from the very beginning. Other TradFi entities weren't necessarily on board with them or as excited as they were. Once Larry Fink came out and said, "Hey, look, I was wrong about Bitcoin a couple years ago. This is going to be an asset that will continuously increase in value," or we view it that way. And then let's be honest, they were probably the main entity that pushed for the ETF to get approved.
Yeah.
And then when BlackRock does it, the other fund managers say, "Well, the big guy is doing it. We got to do it too."
I agree 100%. So over 1 million Bitcoin addresses now hold 1 million Bitcoin. It's the first time ever that we're over 1 million different addresses with at least one full Bitcoin in there. People are getting it. People are starting to get it, man. I think, a lot of these are probably bigger guys who have, 5, 10, 15, 20 Bitcoin in these wallets. But this is huge.
Yeah, I think it's very big because now you have traditional investors or older generations probably getting taught how to self-custody Bitcoin as well. Most probably are still sticking with what they trust their fund manager managing their ETF, but I imagine it's kind of like how gold was, right? Early 2000s, more and more people you would hear about that are really hyper focused on their investments, their asset value would store gold bars in one way or another, right? So I think this is good for the space. This is good for education as well, because the more that people know, the better for society and the better for Bitcoin.
100%. I agree. Speaking of that too, so 60% of the largest hedge funds have disclosed Bitcoin ETF holdings. So, these Bitcoin are getting eaten up. They're a lot of them are going into the ETF, right? Not just going into personal wallets. So that's another thing. 60%, that's insane, of the largest hedge funds in the world have disclosed Bitcoin ETF holdings because they have to disclose their holdings. So pretty insane.
Yeah, this is another thing with being transparent. But people say, well, I'm the guy that has the tinfoil hat, right? So I'm like the big players, the people that really make the money. They don't want to show their hands of how they do things. But in the beginning, I think that because they're involved here, they have to show their transactions and stuff. You got to take advantage of those kind of metrics, right? So pay attention because I think they're counting on people not paying attention as much. This is something that we need to see. Who has that conviction, which entities have that conviction, and this is the perfect way to do it. So this is big. 60%. I think that's going to obviously increase. So
I agree. So I saw this tweet yesterday. It says Feds face up to 1 million US jobs vanishing in potentially the largest downward revision in 15 years. And then today, half hour ago, we get this. Breaking, U.S. job growth overstated by 818,000 jobs. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that 818,000 fewer jobs were created from March 2023 to March 2024 than initially stated. So it was pretty crazy that this was already in our banners, and then this pops in this morning. Pretty nuts. Do you think this is right? Do you think we could lose up to 1 million jobs this year?
I don't want to say something that I feel like could bring our advertising down or something. but I do feel like it's a pretty sad situation that they messed up this big on a report like that, right? I mean, this is a report that moves markets, right? We actually saw this actually move Bitcoin's price this morning. And 818, that's almost 1 million jobs. That's a huge mistake, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, it's sad. I feel like they're playing games with this whole situation leading up to later this year, and this is, to me, that's just too big of a mistake to miss. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, I
that's
agree.
huge.
I think this was hidden so Jerome can get rates to where he wants them. I mean, inflation's in the twos, right? So it's the high twos, but it's still twos. So to me, they were hiding data from us so they could get the inflation's data down, and by doing that, you get the interest numbers up, right? So this is a big miscalculation. But was it a miscalculation, or was it purpose
Intentional. We will
intentional?
never know. So at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's going to be speculation. Regardless, I think we just got to take the reporting now for what it
Yeah.
is and just kind of continually march forward, right? All this stuff is noise too, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
This is all noise, especially for our specific industry. We know where we're going to be, not
Yeah.
specific to the dollar amount, but where the trajectory is going to be for Bitcoin towards the end of this year, in 2025 at different points.
Yeah.
So as long as we keep faith in that, I think we'll be okay. All the other stuff is noise.
I agree. So this is something I found as well. Dubai court recognizes Bitcoin and crypto as salary payments. So now, if you're living in Dubai and you have an employer, you can now, as an employee, get paid in Bitcoin directly.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of these crypto friendly and Bitcoin friendly cities and countries around the world. And Dubai is one of those, right? That people, you hear some from time to time say, hey, Dubai is the crypto capital of the world. They'll say that about Singapore. They'll say that about El Salvador as well. Obviously, I think less events in El Salvador, but
Yeah.
more Bitcoin over there. This is the rest of the world realizing that there's an opportunity here in the United
Yep.
States, for the first time, really in an innovation industry, kind of taking the backseat. So we have a lot of catching up to do. So we hope that our country starts to wake up here.
I agree. Well, on a good note here, Plan B had a tweet. Let me jump into that really quickly. So he posted this chart, and I'm not sure if you've seen this yet, but
Not.
he says 4x from the bottom before we start to take off. 4x from the bottom before we start to take off. 4x from the bottom is this little guy right here. So we're going to be getting another one in about 12 days. But he says normally, after it hits that 4x from the bottom, and our 4x was, so we were at what, 15, I think it was like $16,000 was the low. So I think that was the bottom right here to where we're at today. We're 4x higher, and that is usually when we see the upward momentum. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's saying that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 should be phenomenal. What do you think?
Yeah, this chart's very interesting. So I love that he's pointing out that it's rhyming very closely to the previous cycles with that. But one thing that you do see on this chart as well is the diminishing returns theory, where you can
Yeah.
see from 2 cycles ago it was a 10x, and then last cycle was 7x, right? Which was manipulated. We know that. But this cycle, what X do you think we'll see there
From the bottom?
from that
So
chart?
from where we're at right now, right?
From
So
where
so
that chart is calculating the 2 previous
I mean,
increased returns there.
I think we see 10, 11x.
So you think we go back to that first
Yeah,
cycle?
I think what you said
Interesting.
there was very true. I think it was highly manipulated towards the downward side, right? There was somebody who had a lot of money who didn't want Bitcoin to get to a certain amount, and I think that was SBF. And you know what I mean. So I think it was manipulated down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he obviously manipulated it down and back up, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't that he didn't necessarily want it to go up. He just wanted to make money on the
Yeah.
descent and then back on the ascent there. But so what you're saying then is that the theory of diminishing returns with Bitcoin is not accurate.
I don't believe in diminishing returns. I think now with the ETF, you have a whole new amount of people who have tons of money who are now entered. I potentially, we could see, maybe we could beat out that 10x.
So I think maybe this cycle could be a one-off with that. But
Yeah.
I think if you're thinking logically, though, eventually Bitcoin will get to a price to where diminishing returns has to kick in. You know what I mean? Because you're talking about a price point that can get silly very quickly. If diminishing returns isn't a part of that, and I think diminishing returns is a part of any asset that eventually gets to a certain size. Just because you're not going to be able to continually double it, triple it, quadruple it, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I think that this cycle though is a little different because of the ETF. So this cycle, I think we can actually maybe try to hit that close to that 10x, but wouldn't be surprised if we don't. Actually, wouldn't be surprised if we went lower than 7x just because of the diminishing returns theory. But I think eventually after the cycle, once TradFi has really kind of stabilized the price of Bitcoin, that we will probably see that more and
Yeah.
more.
I mean, I think we could hit 700K by 2025, and then by like 2029, 2030, I think we could be at 6 million, 7 million per coin. I mean that's 10, that's two 10x's back to back. I don't think that's so mind blowing, because you got to remember what's happening with the Japanese yen, right? And how many currencies are going to follow that, right? Like that's just the first one. How many? I mean, China's always in trouble. Their currency is always down against the dollar, right? And then you have the dollar, who we both know is being propped up right now. So it's kind of like it's only a matter of time before these currencies fail. And you got to remember, we're pricing Bitcoin against these fiat currencies that they're just printing more and more of every year. 96% of all the Bitcoin is in circulation. So you have to remember too, the last couple of years, we've had to deal with inflation in Bitcoin. It's lower and lower and lower. I think, with that happening, you could see numbers in the millions by 2030.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, I think that this cycle is definitely unique. And I mean, you can't deny that. Whenever people say,
Yeah.
well, everybody says it's going to be different this time. Well, it literally is. I mean, it's
Yeah.
already been different, right? With the ETF injection. So this cycle, I think we have a chance to kind of go either way. If certain things happen later this year that we know, will help this industry, then I think more of a chance to get kind of break that trend of diminishing returns and really try to get close to what it was two cycles ago. So we shall see.
I agree. This is the last bit before we hit the Bitcoin fear and greed. So Cash App releases Learn the Basics of Bitcoin educational content on its app. Cash App has 57 million monthly transactions users, and Cash App is my favorite place to buy and sell Bitcoin. A lot of people like to use Coinbase, stuff like that. Cash App is by far the cheapest American-based company. It's obviously higher than MEXC and Binance, stuff like that, because we can't use them here. But if you're going to go to one of the crypto.com, Coinbase, or Cash App, that's honestly the cheapest place. And I did see this a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, this is cool. But yeah, they send me emails about Bitcoin. They send me a whole bunch of stuff, and if it's not just me, right, it's probably the entire platform, because they have everyone's email address. So this is big.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. So is the UI pretty smooth too? The UX too?
It's so easy. So when you go into the Cash App, you'll have your amount, and then you have your Bitcoin amount, you'll have your stocks and thing, and you just click when you just go from cash to Bitcoin.
You can put that, but can you send to a different address and everything still?
Yeah, you can send,
That's
like, I
awesome.
can send Bitcoin to you, and I don't even need your Bitcoin address. It'll go right to your Cash App.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's cool.
Or I can put in your Bitcoin address, and it'll go to your Bitcoin address. You can do anything you want.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the least amount of resistance for the users are going to win, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's a good head start for them for sure.
100%. Let's get into the Bitcoin fear and greed. Last week was a 30. Yesterday was a 30 as well. What do you think today is?
I would say today is
Remember, 8 p.m.
Yeah, I know. I would say 28.
Close. Really, really close. 26. So I'll give you
Okay.
that. Yeah, that was a really good guess. But yeah, man. So we're still sitting down in this red. It's crazy that we're in August of 2024, and I don't know. To me, that's baffling.
It is because I mean, when you're in the space every single day, and
Yeah.
like I don't go out and party and stuff like I used to when I was younger.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's this Monday through Friday. On the weekends, I try to get away, touch grass a little bit, go watch a movie, something like that. But like time flies by because you are doing the same thing, right? Over and over. And you're just trying to be really focused and dedicated and not miss this cycle's opportunity. And so it does seem like this year has just blown by us, right? I mean, August 2024, imagine I was still, facing hands over the national championship game whenever University of Washington lost to Michigan, and we're about to start the season again, right? So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, man. I agree. It is pretty nuts to, I'm doing my fantasy football draft right now, and it's insane that we're already here. But being 26, I mean, come on. Like, if this isn't manipulated just for the bigger boys to get in before the run up, then I don't know what manipulation is.
Yeah, well, last year wasn't great at this time either, so it's kind of like, okay. Yeah, our expectation was different. Yes.
Yeah.
That was the bad part of this year. We got a little spoiled in the beginning of the year, end of last year, got teensy bit more spoiled towards, maybe spring. And then it was a waiting game, right? Trading wars, PvP type of situation. So, but as we know, things will get better.
100%. All right, let's get into that Bitcoin price action from BitPerp. BitPerp is going to be one of the top leverage trading platforms in my eyes, because you're going to be able to trade things like Mr. Yen and trade things like $1 billion CAD and anything, really. I mean, these guys are just they're just trying to add every layer one asset, and that is why that we partnered with them, and they are the reason for the Bitcoin price action today. They are sponsoring it, so we appreciate them, and they're a partner of ours, so we help them in many other ways as well. So let's kind of get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. But before we do that, guys, if you are on the YouTube side, please smash that like for us. It helps the algorithms and all that crazy stuff behind the scenes. And then if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe and turn those notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, please share the space, guys. It helps us out a ton, and it helps onboard new users to our ecosystem, so it helps everybody out there. And yes, the Bitcoin price action is brought to you guys by BitPerp, premium perpetual DEX that's going to be launching on Botonix, the Bitcoin layer 2, and their testnet is right around the corner. We're going to get more information to you guys once we get it. We have a meeting with them today actually on that, so let's jump right into it. So this is the hour chart. I'm not using their charts right now because they are updating their website. But once that is completed, we will use the BitPerp chart because there's a lot of features on there that I really, really like. But this is the hour chart for Bitcoin, right? I am seeing an ascending triangle, kind of, right? That came out of a downtrend, which usually doesn't happen. But whenever there is an ascending triangle forming and it looks pretty strong, not this one specifically, I'm saying whenever an ascending triangle looks strong coming out of a downtrend, it typically says reversal. But then we were heading kind of towards that, and then we got the oops, I missed 800,000 like jobs that weren't reported in the unemployment report from last week, and it seemed like that kind of tanked it. But we are seeing a little bit of some strength coming back here, so we'll see if this breaks out of this triangle. I think this pattern's dead, but if we can kind of get through that news report there about the jobs, then I think this can continue. But what I'm seeing on the MACD is just kind of instability here, right? We don't really know where Bitcoin wants to go based off of this. I mean, it does look like the buy pressure is lightening up here. So, it seems like it's weakening, but just not a lot of volatility in terms of the price right now this morning. Now, we did pop into overbought very briefly though. And then we were kind of hanging out here in the middle. So, it's a little bit harder to tell where Bitcoin's going to go today. Yesterday, I said, I did strongly believe we were going to get down to 58.5, 58,000. We did touch down to 58.6, so we didn't hit any of the targets that I mentioned yesterday, but we got close. So if you were able to maybe short some of that really quick and you're good at scalping and speed trading like that, then you might have done well. If not, then sorry. I tried to do my best on that, but anyways, so yeah, we're gonna see how this plays out. It just seems like a lot of consolidation on the 1 hour, so I would probably stay away from anything today, just because you never know how Bitcoin will react to the news like that. It could eventually build up this bearish momentum and dump hard, or we could get through it. So then looking at the 4 hour chart here, it is still kind of like a weak sell pressure on the MACD. You can see that like no big red candles here. So it's just boring. Bitcoin's really boring right now. To be honest. And I don't say that very often. Shizzy's the one that usually says that.
I'm bored.
And so yeah, just seems like a lot of consolidation, which could be good. That's good for, let's get the boring out for the rest of August and then get into September, and hopefully it gets bullish then. So I would say for the next couple of days, probably wouldn't mess with anything then, right? Unless you're like a really advanced trader, then you can scalp one way or the other. But, I'm not really seeing any indicators, heading into the weekend of where Bitcoin wants to go. I see more chop, as my guy J25 said last week when we had him on. I kind of see that for the rest of August, really, honestly. But we'll see. We do this every day, so Monday through Friday. So we'll see if anything changes. There's a lot of data that's also going to be coming out. So for me, I'm staying put. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to take any positions. I'm just going to kind of sit back and see what Bitcoin wants to do for the next couple of days.
I'll be actually taking along into Friday. I think Jerome Powell, he really shook things up in 2021 with the Jackson Hole meeting, and then there's another one this Friday. And with these new numbers that are coming out, 800,000, you got the Fed minutes coming out today at 2 p.m. I think going into that, he's going to be very, very pushed to one side, and I think that side is going to be we need to get interest rates down by the end of the year. And I think if he says anything like, I want to see them like between 3.5 and 4. We could see the markets explode, not just Bitcoin market, all markets. And that could be the push that I was talking about, that, they're going to want us to feel very rich going into November. And I think it starts this Friday. I think the bull market really starts after this speech. And like I said, not just for Bitcoin, but for all markets.
Yeah. And some people are probably wondering, because the S&P was in a pretty good spot a couple days ago, right?
It still is. It's like 56, 57,000.
And so a lot of times you'll hear people like, why is Bitcoin not doing? You guys have to remember, like, Bitcoin is in a 4-year cycle. Like, that's the difference, I would say. Yes, does it tail S&P in the traditional markets? Yes, it does. But sometimes it goes off and goes rogue a bit and does its own thing. Like right now, it's not jumping up, like the traditional markets. But it's kind of like, zooming out, putting that template on where we are, and it's where it's supposed to be, right? So that's what I always try to do whenever I'm like overthinking a situation with Bitcoin's price action, is zoom out a bit.
I agree. All right, let's get into my favorite part of the show here. It's roll call. Let's see who's in the building. Let's see who's here. But we did have some guys that ended up in the graveyard, so I will shout them out. And if you don't know, we put the video out the day before, pretty early, probably like right after the show. We kind of just get it ready. And you are able to comment in there, but for some reason at a certain time, YouTube deletes it. So we do get some people who comment before that. So I'll show those guys some love there. We got Tim Baker, AOD Art, Web Droves in the building, Zahid, Mr. Yankee, Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Poo. And then we have Yasher as well. He says, it's only going to reach 94K. There's no second way. I agree. I love the rhyming. But we can't give those guys the first as first, and I apologize for that because I have to go by what the comments are showing me. And PJNZ, you, my friend, are number one. And he goes, thumbnail, shilling the merch. We're not shilling the merch, man. We're just showing you guys how good it looks on us. That's it. But shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to PJNZ. Amazing comment. And congratulations, man. You were number one. And then number 2 spot, we got Webdro. He said product placement genius. So everyone's kind of noticing a little bit what we're doing here. But thank you guys. Danny Boy, he's my man right here. D Blocks in the house. Appreciate you. One of our mods. Ordinal tweets, Ordinal chips. I love the Ordinals, man. Ordinals. Green Man is here. Pick Low is here. He says, what up, OGs? Born for the corn. He's born for that big corn,
born
baby.
For the corn.
No. A cheerful morning vibe. Shout out to you, my friend. Lackey Lukey is here. Bitmap Gallery is in the building. Reziak. Shout out to you, my friend. Coach Cats, Cat Shake Cats, CM, always bringing the coffee and the donuts, and the dog go to the moon. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you. Always bringing your coach. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Glasshopper is here. Joko is here. My man Yasher's in the building. Lovely guys here. Shout out to you, my friend. another one of our mods, man. Appreciate him. John is here. He says, here. You better be here, John. You ain't here, man. We'll come find you. Well, I appreciate John being here every single day. I Walk Alone is here. Says, GM fam, smash that like button and share all your socials. We are trying to hit 30K subs. Yeah, I Walk Alone. I don't know what happened, but we hit a wall at 22,000. But we appreciate you always trying to help us out, man. Steamy J is here. Chief Axel's in the building. Ant-Man is here. SPI here every single day now. We appreciate you becoming one of our regulars, buddy. Thank you so much. Sogol is here. Tim Baker is here. AOD Art. Zahid, super fan. Congratulations to him again. He did an amazing job yesterday. Shout out to Superfan, a good friend of ours here. Then we have Daywood is in the building. His GM, the best show on YouTube. We appreciate that. That is way over exaggerated. But thank you so much. And we got my man, Mr. Sheedy. He said, "What up, guys? Great show yesterday. I had to watch last night. Thank you, Mr. Sheedy. We appreciate all the. If you guys can't watch live, that's completely fine. That's why we put out those videos, man. We appreciate you guys so much. Hey, Zeus is in the building. Shout out to you. He says, GM, everyone, let's make that Bitcoin. Let's get it. That's why we're in Ordinals. Because we don't care about dollars. We care about that SAT number. So shout out to you. Then we have Being Invested is here. Shout out to you, Being Invested. We are invested. Anwar is here. Patty Pooh, the Bitcoin machine himself. Shout out to you, my friend. What's up from PZ? The track has more of a use case than buying validators. All right, a good statement there. And then Pelpa is here. So let's go, Ordinal Revolution, baby. And thank you, every single one of you guys here every single day, and we will remember that. We appreciate. We know who's going to win, and we know who's going to lose. John will lose as well, but everyone else. No, I'm just fine. Everyone's going to win. Appreciate you guys.
Yep. Love the roll call. I mean, it just shows how much focus that you guys have, that you guys are here every single day trying to catch any news in the space and just be prepared, right? So that's the whole point of roll call. And we appreciate you guys supporting and jumping into the roll call every day.
100%. It's getting longer and longer too. I'm loving it though. I can go on. I can go on for another 10 minutes if I need to, but shout out to you guys. But let's kind of get into the show here. So the name of the show today is Warning: Boom or Gloom for Bitcoin. 94K or 49K. Best price indicator to watch for. What do you take from this? What is your opinion about boom or gloom?
So the whole point of that title is to kind of pull things back and zoom out a bit, right? And that's what my best indicator is to zoom out, pull up the charts, and then put it on the daily, even the weekly, and then you'll be able to compare each cycle to where we are currently in the journey. And yes, we did say earlier in the show that this cycle is different with fund managers being in the mix with the ETFs. Yes, but that's just one part of it, right? And you can see there was a rebalance after that initial jolt. There was a rebalance to kind of get Bitcoin back on the timeline is where kind of how I see things right now, right? And so if you just put Bitcoin in August of 2020, it's not that much different in terms of like percentage gain and all that stuff, right? So really, you'll be able to see the indicator of, it's not going to be exactly, but maybe around the time frame within a month or two of when that exciting first leg up happens, right? You can kind of get a little bit more of an accurate speculation. And I believe we did see that happening in 2020 December heading into January, a good little jolt. It wasn't like it wasn't the biggest one. The biggest one happened in spring of 2021 and then another one in November. So that is comparing to like spring of 2025 and November of 2025, right? But that first kind of climb up started in late 2020. And I think that's a good kind of indicator to just lay it on top of where we are. It's not going to be exactly, but at least that, why are things slow right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I remember it was like yesterday. Like I said before, I bought my first Bitcoin August 8th, 2020. So, and I remember, it was very boring between August and October. And then in October, Michael Saylor came out and he says, he started being the Bitcoiner that he is today. And I remember still wasn't much going on. November hit. Obviously, we had the I can't even say the E word that we're going to have again this year, but we had that. And then after that is when markets really started to show. And then I want to say around December 13th, we saw Bitcoin finally break that $11,000 mark because it was floating between 6,000 and 11,000 for a while. And then it finally broke that 11,000 mark and went straight to 19. And then after 19, it stayed there for a couple of days, and then it shot to 30, then 40, then 50, then 60. And then that was the 2021 that we all remember. And, if that's the case, and if we're going to rhyme on that, we might not see upward momentum until the end of November. So,
well, here, let me actually pull the chart up for the viewers here.
Yeah.
You can see. So the difference, like I said, it's not going to be exactly. There's going to be some rhyming happening, but the summer was kind of pretty much dead until it got to the end of July. So it's a little bit, it's a different timeline here with where we are right now. Then that jumped from, it looked like 9,800 up to around 12,000 was that high area.
It broke that 11. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but then you saw this capitulation that happened in September, right? So we didn't see this huge jump up of, 9,000 to like 12,000 percentage gain in August, right? So, does this get pushed back a month and we see this happen in September? And then, maybe October instead, we see a capitulation until November, right? So, like I said, it's hard. We're speculating, we're guessing here, but the whole point is this is whenever things really started to really take off. Last cycle was October. This was that first. This is the leg I'm talking about that really flowed into the end of the year, and then a little pullback at the end of December and then January. So, when does this start, right? Does it start in November this year? Because this situation could be kind of pushed back. And like I said, maybe we don't even get the situation. But my whole point is this is coming, right? This right here is coming. Whether it starts in October, November, it doesn't matter because we're going to get here. Right. So that's what I mean by like, okay, you'll know by that indicator of like, okay, consistent price upward action, consistent. You're talking about through an entire month and then fall in multiple months consecutively. Right. So whether that's November and December, which I'm kind of thinking if I were to put, anything on it, it would be those 2 months that we see that like.
I agree. So we this questioner here, he says Bitcoin went from 17,000 to 73,000. Isn't that the bull run? What would you say to someone who says that?
I would say no, because it's not within the 4-year cycle, and it didn't okay. If you go to every 4-year cycle, I mean, that would be extremely too early. Like you're talking about like an entire year early, right? Yeah. And it just doesn't happen that way because like it happened before the halving, first of all, right? It happened before the halving, right? So supply didn't create that demand shock yet, right? So we still have a lot of variables to play out here. And plus, 17,000, you're talking about from the actual low, which is 3,000 lower than the previous cycle's high, right? So the previous cycle's high two previous cycles. So you go back to 2017 and the high was 20,000 around there. So you can't really count from 17,000 because you're talking about 2 cycles ago. Now, if you were to count from, if this was if you move this increase up to where the previous cycle's high was, which is 70-something thousand, and it jumped that much, then you would have more of an argument, in my opinion. But the percent increase doesn't justify from the previous cycle for that to be the bull run price difference. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, it did. I understood it. But I want to hit on almost done. I said Ordinal Revolution, my afternoon break at work. Thank you so much, man. If we're that means so much to us here, man. That's awesome that you'll listen to us on your break, man. Appreciate you so much. And we had Albert come in with his daily now. Don't invest in motor swapping up, then. That is a daily comment from him. We appreciate both of you guys in that, Mark. But Coach Hatson had something interesting too. He says BTC all-time high was because of the ETFs. Yes, so that is a big point. It's like the funky COVID low last cycle, an anomaly. So yes, exactly. Like, so it was kind of the opposite of the COVID low, right? We had that giant spike up, and now we have to kind of we have to get back to where we were, and that's kind of what we did this summer, right? We kind of got back to the right place at the right time because it's almost like Bitcoin is like on this schedule that nobody can stop. If you try to push it up, it'll eventually get back to where it has to be. So that is it. Then we got my man Chidi chiming in here. But moving along here, there's a new standard, Yago. BRC 600,000. Are you ready for this new standard?
I don't know about that.
So this is from our good friend Jeroen, who we're gonna have a conversation with later. He said we just revolutionized the ordinal experience forever due to our new standard BRC 600,000, also called BRC 600K. Here's what it is and how it will change the whole art landscape on Bitcoin. And let me just grab that. Oh, it disappeared. Hold on one second. So Jeroen has this thing called Inscribepedia, where he's taking books that are already on Bitcoin, because you can go and you can inscribe just pages and pages of text. He's actually taking that and turning it into a book, and it actually looks pretty cool. Did you see it yet?
I have not. Nope.
All right, I'm about to show it now. All right, so let me show my screen here. So this is it right here. New standard dropping 600,000. Click it. That might help. Where is it? Sorry, I hate when that happens. I had it up and then the page just disappeared on me. But
well, what do you know what the approach is? Because let me.
I just wanted to show the picture. So it was Then he gets in the RSIC thing, and then he had the image of it.
Well, I know his whole objective of this was to, follow through with this idea that he's had to put literature or allow writers to put their works on Bitcoin, which is a really cool idea. But I wonder, this headline says will change the whole art landscape on Bitcoin. So I wonder where that comes in, right?
Yeah. Damn it, he had an amazing picture of the thing. So he's basically taking it, and he explained it in the picture. He's basically taking, the art, the words, and actually putting them into a digital book where you can kind of flip the pages. So you know how like some of them you can like turn them around like the runestone. You can like flip it around and stuff. You're gonna be able to actually flip the pages using the mouse, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so I do know like Paris had something like this. She inscribed the pizza book, right? But if this is like a standard to where it's simplified for people that are trying to create these works in Inscribepedia, then that's a really cool standard to where all you have to do is just upload your book by page and then able to have that integrated into it. So
this is it right here. So you're just kind of flipping the pages, and that is a BRC 600,000. It's kind of like I think it's ERC 721 or something like that. This is kind of like his version of that, which is still pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different approaches to interactive art, interactive, literature, stuff like that on Bitcoin. That's why I actually love it. And we had this kind of discussion. Was it yesterday to where some of Bitcoin's limitations in terms of making it not as degen as possible is a positive for some of these builders, because now they're able to be creative, not so worried about monetizing every single thing and trying to change the industry by being creative and by adding these new standards and stuff. So I think there's going to be a bunch of great stuff that comes out of this whole Bitcoin renaissance. This could be one of them. We know that Jiern is a really ambitious guy. He has a big following. He has his place carved out in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So I really hope that this succeeds. I hope it attracts the authors that he's looking for as well. So we'll see. We'll just have to see how this plays out, because there's so many different standards and stuff out there.
And imagine the stuff that I think was the company where they got like exclusive documents they were supposed to get and stuff like that. And that type of stuff could be here as well. Someone could put that in as BRC 600,000, sell it in Jeroen's store, you know what I mean? So all you got to do is upload it to Bitcoin. I don't know. I'm excited for Jeroen's Inscribepedia for sure.
Yeah.
All right, jump to the next topic here. F6. Have you looked into this at all?
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it. But you had mentioned that they are talking about being able to mine FB token from the Fractal chain and doing some sort of revenue share. So that made it more interesting. Again, there's been so many of these projects that say, hey, we're going to be a mining sharing revenue. I haven't seen one that's actually gone, mainstream that has had success for longevity, right? So I think the first one that can actually provide a good revenue return share for something like this will be groundbreaking, but there just hasn't been, right?
Yeah.
So we'll
100%.
have to wait. But I don't like that they use the name.
I know you could have. I hate it too, but I guess gets the point. It's Fractal specific integrated circuit, which will be physical ASIC miners to mine the native token FB or Fractal Bitcoin. Once mainnet is live, the F6 holders will receive the airdrop of eligible FB tokens. So just holding one of these will get you that airdrop.
I mean, that's cool, right? They're starting to try to do this pre-fractal thing. I really hope it doesn't become this huge pre-fractal market, because all that does is lead up a bunch of hype that will eventually, unless Bitcoin decides at the same time that it wants to break through 76,000, break through 80,000, you really need the liquidity to continue something that's really hyped up.
Yep. I don't know. It's just something that I'm definitely interested in looking into getting these. And I think they're going to be on Ordzar. I think that's where I saw it. So I'll be looking into this. I'll give you guys information once I get it. There's nothing really on their site yet, so I'm guessing there's not a specific date when these things will be. It's looking like it's going to be a pre-sale. All right. So I mean, we've seen things like that before from Mineral and stuff like that. So it's something to definitely be aware of, but also be cautious of, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the part of the game to where you're like, okay, I can make a certain amount of profit on Fractal by being a PvP player. I mean, at the end of the day, right? So it depends on how you look at opportunities. Do you look at opportunities to where you can try to outtrade people in the space, or do you look at opportunities as long-term solid project holds? Because those are two different mindsets. And if you go into something that's not going to have long-lasting liquidity, then you better be the one that can trade and get out before the next guy does. I mean, I'm just trying to shoot facts from the hip.
Yeah, man. I agree. Jump to the next thing here. The world's first self-custodian Bitcoin staking mainnet goes live tomorrow. So this is a tweet from the guys at Babylon. Babylon, they're all protocol on a lot of these L2s, and there will also be their own chain as well. But they said this: the world's first self-custodian Bitcoin staking mainnet goes live tomorrow. No bridging, no swapping, no wrapping, just pure trustless Bitcoin staking. What the hell does this mean? Like, is that, like I haven't done my due diligence, but there isn't much that you can just take. It feels kind of hidden. Are they going to be staking on mainnet, do you think?
I'm not sure what they're going to be doing. I'm not sure if they're chain, because they are a chain. I'm not sure if they're going to be creating a chain that's EVM or if it's UTXO model based. But we do know that they have really sourced a lot of their Bitcoins that they have staked right now from Bitcoin Layer 2's ecosystem. Whether that's Merlin, whether that's BitLayer, whether that's, I don't know if they have exposure to Botonics yet, but that's been a lot of Bitcoin. They are the giant. And this is kind of a race to who's going to be the main servicer for staking Bitcoin in this ecosystem. And they seem to have taken that responsibility, or that first mover. And this could be really, really big. Now, what are you going to get in return for the Bitcoin? That's the big question, because to me, there's two situations here. One, if you are able to earn like a synthetic Bitcoin or whatever, I'm sure that that's what they're going to do. Or if they're going to give you the Babylon token, it could be a good play for the cycle. How long will it last, right? If they're giving reasonable APYs and stuff that makes sense, then it could be a longevity thing. But if it's kind of, just out of logic, at the end of the day, like Terra Luna 20%, at the time, we probably didn't think that was that crazy because there was so much other crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
80%, 1,000%, 100,000% if it was a new token. Basically, they're just issuing you their second token or whatever. So I think you just got to be careful always, not just with Babylon, with any other project. Bitcoin is super solid. It's the most solid asset in our space and even outside of our space. But what are you getting in return? And this is a part of the game, right? And so we'll kind of have to see how this project plays out. I will say there's a lot of funds that were in previous staking models with liquid staking and ETH and stuff that had success that do believe in Babylon. So that is kind of a good indicator to me.
Yeah, I agree too. And you have to remember too, like, if Babylon doesn't have a token yet, which they don't, 20% is kind of easy to give, right? 50%, 100% is kind of easy to give because you're kind of distributing your token. You're saying, for you guys trusting us with your Bitcoin. But if they're saying it's non-custodian staking, then I don't get the point,
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what that's going to look like, right? We got to kind of wait and see. They're going to be releasing it tomorrow, so we'll jump right in. And I love this statement right here from Sogol. He said, "Ohm had 65 billion % APY."
Yeah,
that the good old Ohm days.
I miss it, bro.
I don't know about that.
Oh man,
obviously House of Cards, right? So
100%. A couple things here. Unitap public round 2 sale for the OG pass is coming. I got a couple of those. I totally forgot about. I got to look into making sure I received them because them being a tap token, they don't really like show up in your wallet. You have to like kind of make sure you have them. So I got to go to my Unitap wallet and make sure that I got them because I remember I did participate in that sale because our good friend Abdul helped us out with getting in there. So
yeah, well I think like if you have your Unitap wallet, you should be able to see it right away.
Yeah,
maybe you didn't use maybe you didn't use the Unitap wallet. Instead, you used like a Xverse or something else. But yeah, I would definitely check in on that.
Are you bullish on that?
Look, I'm not going to be bullish on the tap ecosystem. I'm bullish on it for the builders, right? And I believe that it will have success, but I'm not going to be, I should reword this. I'm not going to be overly excited about it until I'm able to mess with Taparoo Swap, be able to do things like that. At least the main tap exchange, right? At that point, I'm going to get more excited about it because I have assets that are in the tap ecosystem that I can't do much with right now other than Ordinal's wallet. And shout out to the Tap Wallet and Explorer guys. I mean, hey, look, they pushed the envelope. They got the market out there. They just don't have a ton of marketing right now. And we'll see. I just need to be able to, see something with strength in terms of being able to swap out tokens or even a marketplace by the Tap team.
I agree. All right. The next thing we're going to get into a tweet from Runesland. It's actually pretty cool. They actually have the volume. Have you checked out Runesland yet? It's actually really cool. I was messing with it yesterday. There's actually casino games. But before we get into that, I just want to show you their chart here. So this is top 10 runes by volume. And I'll actually make my screen bigger so we can all see it here. So basically you see Arsic in the volume spot number 1. Dog in the number 2 spot on this is a weekly chart, so it's pretty crazy. And then obviously $1 Billion Cat's 3rd, Pups World Peace, Pepe Moons on OpNet, something that really came out last week, so I think that's why it's there. Uncommon Goods, Fehu, Nipsey on OpNet, Satoshi, and Base Internet Panda. And this is another reason why I'm kind of getting bullish on Base Internet Panda a little bit is because it's been in the top volume a lot lately. It really isn't pushing forward too much, but it's been in there. But you see, your good friend Satoshi Nakamoto, he's always in there. So it really got my attention. I'm gonna actually keep looking at the volume because the volume is going to show you what is really going to rip when the time comes.
Yeah, I agree. I think the higher volume runes right now you got to pay attention to in this slower period, right? Yeah, there's a couple in there that I'm bullish on. The Panda, I wonder who's behind that. There's got obviously like some sort of group of community behind it. But that one kind of popped out of nowhere, in my opinion, a couple weeks ago. And you're right, it has been in the top volume pretty consistently. So
yeah, I want to showcase runes.land, and we have no affiliation with them whatsoever, but it was pretty cool. So obviously they have their launch pad, which they're trying to raise money for the site here. They're just about done there, but the games, right? And I don't know, dude, I got hooked on this game the other day. I played this for like it's runesland.monkeybranch.com.
Branch?
That's I think weird. If you just go to runes.land, yeah, runes.land, it'll take you to the site. But anyway, I was over here just playing this game, so it gives you 100 tokens to start with. And dude, I got it up to like 3,000 tokens. I won a giant jackpot a couple times, and I got addicted, bro. I don't know. It's like the Runeland token. I don't even remember. I lost them somehow. They didn't come with me because I'm not like I didn't like connect my wallet or anything. But like I was playing this the one day, and then like I said, I won big, and then I just couldn't stop playing. So it was pretty cool. I don't know.
That's a sign of probably you shouldn't gamble ever.
I'm not a gambling man. But it's cool because you can earn, stuff by playing the casino, daily access, holder, stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in that, that's definitely something. I think this is going to be trying to like there's another .land. Remember Arsic did something with the .land? I forget what that was. But anyway, this is like
Are they trying to do something like bitmaps with this or?
No, I just think they're just trying to just
like it's an analytics site too. It seems.
Yeah, exactly. Analytics. They have Launchpad. You can play games here. They just want you to come in and kind of mess with the site a little bit. So it's pretty cool. But it did tell you like the total market cap and stuff like that of I think it's is that runes? No, that's definitely not runes. Total market cap. Not really sure. But or unless it might be their token.
Well, I think that you see the monkey branch or whatever it's called, like the points, they probably have points or something. I don't know. But I mean, cool. Like I like the analytics stuff. I think that's really cool. We'll see, if this is actually turns into something. But pretty cool interaction. Look, yesterday when we had Tapalytics on, I thought that was a really cool dashboard. But they're solely focused on that. They're called Tapalytics. So I think we got to figure out what is that for runes right now. You know what I mean? I know there's stuff out there. There's a lot of stuff that's built that we don't even know about. That's why I agree with you in the long run that this will be like the infrastructure. A lot of the infrastructure is going to be on runes. Don't kill me, BRC20 people. I think that BRC20 is going to be around as long as Unisat's around. Unisat goes away, then I think that's going to be big problems. There's so many builders, right? And then you got to imagine that there's going to with numbers, there's going to be a percentages of some of these things being heavily used in the future.
100%, I agree. So we're kind of out of topics here, so we're going to jump into some room update. I don't know if you realize, but it's a very red day today. I didn't really notice as I started looking at the chart, but I'm on the daily here, and go
by volume. Go by volume. Click on volume.
Okay.
And look at number 5 there. That's interesting.
Ooh, we got some green on the chart. Agora now the number 1 for a while there by market cap. It was Byzantine General. Byzantine General. And so let's kind of get into that a little bit because that's something we haven't talked about. So Byzantine General was I don't know if they were funded by Ordinals Wild or they're partnered with Ordinals Wild. They were doing so maybe the team members from there. They went out on a limb and they started it. They tried to raise funds with this coin or whatever. It might have been a free mint. I'm not really sure what it was. But they tried to put something out. Agora was a part of that team originally. They left to create their own version because they just weren't moving. And we kind of see why now, right? Because Byzantine kind of fell apart. And now Agora is that leading marketplace, and you got to bet on the UFC fight. And I wish I would have done it because I was actually leaning towards the that guy who won. So it's pretty cool. I don't know. It's moving, and it's only a $1 million market cap. So I could see this at 15, 30 million within a couple months. Not gonna lie, not financial whatsoever.
It reminds me of BAMP. Remember when BAMP kind of
Yeah.
went on this run? Now the thing about Agora is the supply is very tiny. You're talking about 111,111 total tokens of Aletheus Agora, right? And I think there was a pre-mine of 11,111. So really for public circulation, you're talking about 100,000 tokens. Now, the price is going to reflect that based off of, how many people are buying it and all that stuff. So if the price looks kind of high, it's because of the token supply. And but yeah, they have been consistently kind of in the green while the rest of these projects have been in the red. Now, I think the biggest thing for Agora is like, how do they scale, right? So I do know for a fact that like the founders are having meetings with scaling solutions, whether that's Fractal, Merlin, whatever. But you're going to have to scale to make it an automated platform, which I think that's the end goal, right? To make it permissionless, but also automated to where there's smart contracts being involved. So there's big upside opportunity, in my opinion. They're getting a lot of support now, especially like you said, with the Byzantine general dev, I think, announcing that they're not going to continue with that project. Do further research on that, though. That's just hearsay from what I've heard, or I've seen some posts on that. But yeah, so that is pretty big there.
I agree.
You can see, the rest of the tokens, though, definitely red. There was a bounce up when R6 started to move with a lot of these tokens, and then now they're kind of all trending in the same direction back down until Bitcoin decides it wants to open back up.
Yeah, and you see, this was a coin from the OpNet guys, right? So this is gonna be Pepe on their coin, but I saw this at like 1.2 million, and today's at 3 million, so it's definitely up a 3x from the first time I seen it. But that's up there. And then you got Liquidium token, something I'm very bullish on, up 4% today. So that's good for them. Back up to a $20 million market cap there. I think that is so cheap, being one of the top dApps on Bitcoin. This is something surprising me too. This is like an all-time low here for Bank of Nakamoto at 4 sats. This gets down to 3 sats. Is that worrying to you? Do you think this is why do you think this has just been completely down only?
Well, I mean, it's not as exciting as it once was. What are the rewards for holding BAMP right now? It's a governance token. We know that, right? I think that what Jack and his team are doing right now is pretty smart. You have NUSD, obviously, on Runes. You have NUSD on BRC20. You have NUSD that's going to be on Fractal. You have NUSD that has made its way to Merlin chain. You have NUSD that is going to go on several other Bitcoin layer 2s as well. And then they also announced that they're going to expand it to Bell's chain, right? That's like been a hot topic recently. Another UTXO chain, right? I imagine if Doginals and DRC20s start to pump back up, that they'll try to be over there. So what they're doing is really putting their fingerprints everywhere with the stable token. And if this governance token has a big governance type of I guess role for the holders, then that's where it could be like that maker DAO. But we're not going to see that until the bull market is officially like we're in it later this year, early, to where that like there's just news going out left and right about projects because people want them to know they're building fast, all those kind of things. Then I think you'll get the hype, and then you'll get the supporters and stuff. Right now it's just kind of a died down narrative.
I agree. Yeah, man. Anything up here? Anything doing good on the daily here? $1 billion dog, up 60% there. Nothing really ordinary. Just grinding forward here. Yeah, man. Yeah. All right. I want to actually get your opinion on something. So why not just do it live, right? So I started looking into. So Francis posted something today about Bell's coin. So I was like, he said something about I'm going to be putting my first investment in this. It's blockchain 2013. It came out the same month as Doge from the same guys. It was kind of abandoned up until the end of last year. It just came out. But if you go to their link tree here, and I went to the wallet. It's called Nintendo Wallet, which I absolutely love the name of. So if you go to Nintendo Wallet,
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
No,
whatever.
Nintendo. That's an O.
I'm gonna call it Nintendo because I like it that way. No,
because you call words that are not what they are, like Coach Cats.
Coach Cats, Catch the Cats. I like it. Nintendo Wallet. I like the name of it. But Marketplace isn't on yet. But you go to Bell 20s. It's very similar to what we're doing at Ordinal. So this is an Ordinal, and for some reason, like Doge didn't get me right, but for some reason, Bell's kind of getting my attention. And I'm not sure why. I have no investment in anything as of right now. But I've been kind of looking. Have you looked at any of this? If you go to Nintendo.io, and then they got Bellinals, which is kind of like Ordinals.
Yeah,
so
I mean, look, this is a Doge 2.0. I mean, literally the way that Doge revived and stuff again, it's following that same trajectory. But
well, no,
I mean,
this has OpCat now, and it has
well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the
Oh.
revival part, right? Like how they both went to sleep, and like no one was paying attention to Bell's chain before this past year, and it's a Doge 2.0 in terms of that reviving it is what I'm saying, right? So
yeah, but
the
difference would be there's people that are actually building on here. Like they added Taproot, which Doge does not have. They added OpCat, which Doge does not have. So that's kind of another thing that got me. This is basically Fractal. There's no difference between Bells and Fractal at this moment, right? Because
I don't know when they added OpCat or added Taproot and all that stuff, because I just don't know. I got to dive deeper into it. But there's a lot of people building on Doge chain as well. Like, I mean, in terms of applications,
8-bit
applications. I mean, if you look at the total ecosystem volume, it's not a ton on Doge, but it's definitely more than Bells, because Bells hasn't really got going yet. But
well, that's what I'm saying. You have an opportunity.
But look, where the opportunity here is for Bells, in my opinion, is Bells coin, because it went from 20 million to like 84 million in the past week. Right. So there is momentum building up for that. So if you want to maybe duplicate like what Doge maybe did, you're not going to get that exact same situation, because I think what Doge did was crazy in terms of the gains, but you could have a situation where Bell's coin gets to a couple 100 million, maybe 500 million, if they actually build an ecosystem and stuff like that. So that's where I see the opportunity. I don't really see it with these like extra tokens or collections that are going to live on there, because it's just that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
I actually disagree. I think that there's some opportunity here for some maybe some type of protocol to come up here and start building. I mean, it could be something. I mean, having, and that's the difference why I think like Doge and what they're building over there. I mean, they're just not. So Doge is just too big to make changes. Like the guys who are running the validators and stuff, they're just not letting these changes go through. Something like Bells being super small, you can actually get these changes in because there's only so many people running the nodes. Because like I said, it's a Bitcoin fork at the end of the day, so people are running nodes to keep this up. So it's easy to get changes like this into something small. Like they're not worried about messing it up. Like if Doge, there's billions of dollars involved. If you make subtle changes and the changes don't go well, it could really destroy the chain and you cause billions of dollars in damage. But something like this, I mean, being between 30 and 80 million right now, I think you can add the changes and stuff like that. And that's kind of why I'm not bullish on Doge, and that's why they're not doing the updates as quickly as like Bell's coin is.
Well, just to give some clarification to the audience here, it says OpCat soon on testnet, live at 188,000 blocks. So it's not on Bell's chain yet.
Okay.
It seems like it is in production for testnet. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I mean, look, I think I actually think Doge does have an opportunity if they can somehow get OpCat added there. They have the community. They already have the community there. You know what I mean? They have the community. I mean, you can't deny that. Like, it's there, right? I talked to some people that have stuff over there or that have dabbled, and they say that it's people that are saying that there's not building happening on Doge chain is completely wrong, is what I'm hearing. And this is someone that has experience messing with that chain. I've messed with it. I have wallets there, but like I'm not in it. Like last time I checked, I think was maybe a week ago, and then the last time before that was maybe a month before that. What was going on. So I think the biggest hurdles for Doge chain is probably going to be like upgrading the core code and being able to get that done. So we'll see. I think we got to get more information before we make any try to make any factual statements on.
I'm not making any factual. This is all my opinion, and I think Doge is trash. And I always because I just think it's too big. I
feel like that's definitely a personal opinion of Doge from the beginning. Because every time I talk to you about it, you're like, I hate Doge. I hate everything about.
I always hated Doge. I always
exactly,
hated Doge.
But that's like saying like pizza is not going to be successful because I hate freaking pineapple pizza.
I hate BRC20s. I hate them, but FRC20s are different. But that's what I'm saying.
What did they do to you? Did they take a dump on your desk or something?
No, I'm just saying so Bell's Coin's making these updates and stuff. You're seeing there's no one's Doge has never came out. Anyone from that organization came out and said they're putting Taproot in there. There's already Taproot on I'm pretty sure on that chain already. So adding Opcat next and adding something else.
I mean,
there's no difference in Fractal.
There's already Taproot there.
I'm pretty sure there is. I'm like 90% sure they added it.
I mean, I don't think that it started with it.
No, but they added it recently. So, but Bell's Coin's been being worked on for the last year.
I know Segwit is enabled. That's for sure.
So, and I don't think Segwit's enabled in Doge.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm looking into it, but I don't know, man. I got this weird feeling about Bell's chain. I'm gonna keep looking into it. I
will say this though: a lot of the BSVers are the ones that are super excited about it.
Yeah. Well, you gotta remember, there's no difference. Like if you add Opcat and add all the change, if you add Opcat and everything else that's going to Fractal, what's the difference between Fractal and Bell's?
Well, I think that's going to go against your argument for Fractal being successful then. Or sorry, Bell's being successful. Because then, why would you go to Bell's? What's the point? If Fractal's not even out yet and everybody's hyped up about Fractal, but Bell's is the same thing, what's the point?
Well, it's because Bell's came out of nowhere. I mean, no one was talking about Bell's. I mean, when Fractal came out with a lot of hype, right? And then I think people like me are now realizing, I realized it today, that Bell's could be Fractal without the giant VCs dumping on your head, right? So that's kind of the VC
a little bit
less Fractal.
That's a way to look at it. It's doesn't have VCs necessarily behind it, but again, that goes to our pre-show kind of conversation that you and I had.
Yeah.
That yes, Unisat is VC backed, obviously, but the way that they ran BRC20s wasn't a VC type environment. It wasn't, other than Sats. Yes, Sats, I will say yes. Ordi definitely wasn't. That's the biggest token over there. That was as anti-VC as you could have got.
Yeah, but it was like a very small amount of holders in the beginning. It was like a little cult by itself. It was like a little cult by itself.
But there was no VCs that pumped that and dumped it, is my point, right? So yes, I think there's going to be certain things of Fractal that's going to be probably, FB.
If Unisat didn't hold the majority of Ordi, I'd be shocked.
Well, maybe they bought it on secondary, but my point is that the people made off on Ordi, they did it because there was no VCs that really pumped that or bought it. That wasn't a VC project. 90%, 95% of the tokens over there are not BRC20s, are not VC anything. And I think that's sometimes people like Francis and people like Block will have that argument that they don't think about at the moment, but that's really the argument right now is Runes had a bunch of investors go into Epic. Bayhue has to be funded. There's no way. I mean, they were number one Rune. Am I holding them? Yes, I'm still holding them because I think that you can still do well with VC coins, but you got to play that very carefully and know when to exit because there's going to be people that make sure that they get their investment back and more. Right? Yeah. So that's the difference in my opinion. Look, I'm not saying Bell's Coin's not going to have success. I'm just saying it's highly risky in my opinion.
Well, for me, it's I don't really care about Bell's Coin. I kind of want to go after. So let's just say
sorry. Let me rephrase that. I think Bell's coin is the play for safer, because I think it's still going to get the attention. But the plays on Bell's coin, yes, you can pop here and there, but you better be good at trading, because I don't think that there's going to be a ton of liquidity that's hanging around Bell's chain. Sorry.
Well, hold on. Let's just say, if when the pump stats fund gets put on Fractal, it's going to be easy copy and paste to Bell's coin and stuff like that. So if they have all the same updates, if they have the op cap, they have Taproot, they have everything else, it's going to be pretty easy to just keep copying what Fractal does and put it over here, so make Bell's kind of like the non-VC chain and kind of basically do the same exact things. So I do see some opportunity. I'm not saying these coins are going to go, $1 billion, like maybe some go on Fractal, but you might see a couple 100, 200, 300 X's over there if you're playing with the same code base,
and if the liquidity hangs around, because that's the biggest important thing. So you better hope if when they do launch something, if they try to fork a stats pump fund, that it's in December, January, somewhere around there, to where,
I think
like,
we're all going to be
hanging
they're
around.
all going to be in there. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And if more liquidity that goes into Bell's coin, the more richer these guys who are already there with Bell's coin already feel. So they're going to get more risky. They're going to feel like they're playing with house money. So that's why. And this is just my thought process. I'm thinking through this live, like, you know what I mean. So I just got a weird feeling about it, and my guts. I don't know. I'm right sometimes. So it's one of those things where I knew Doge was going to fail. I know the people that are pumping the Doji and stuff like that. That's trash. But I do think
I mean, come on, the people that minted Doji, they made off well.
100%, but that opportunity's gone, and that's my main thing. I don't think about yesterday. I only think about tomorrow.
Yeah, so I don't think the opportunity is gone, but I think it's going to be a long time before that bounces back. The same opportunity is definitely not there, obviously, from minting. But that goes exactly with Ordi, and I think that argument is the same one that you and Francis have about Ordi versus Dog and stuff like that. So but yeah,
well, potentially you could put runes on Bell coin, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. You can do exactly what Fractal is planning to do, and anything Fractal can do, potentially Bell's coin can do as well. Because and I say that because the validators are there's a lot less validators than there is on Doge, and it should be pretty easy to kind of get them all together on one page and kind of get the same upgrades that's happening to Fractal on Bell's chain. Like, again, today was the first day I even thought about Bell's chain. Like, I haven't even looked at anything, but I'm going to start.
Yep. And wow, we got 258 people in here, so appreciate each and every one of y'all. We don't have a ton of questions in here. I went through a bunch of them, a bunch of the statements up here. Let's see. Runes Market News says, what's the simplest way to get FB tokens? So this is one of the questions that did come through.
So, I mean, the RSIC,
get in the seed rounds,
or the yeah, well, that too, but the FSIC maybe, right? I don't think you're gonna want the FB token. I don't think that's not in my playbook. I don't want that. I'm not touching that VC backed coin. I won't touch it with your money. For me, I want the FRC20s. I want the first couple.
Yeah, I mean, if you're already mining Bitcoin, you should be able to upgrade your software or add some software to mine FB token side by side. I don't know if it makes sense from an energy level, but that's another way you can get it. So those two ways are ways that you can get it. Sogol says, well, Doge has an ecosystem now. What with Track indexing? Oh yeah, Track is indexing the RC20s. That's a pretty good pickup for them.
I want to talk about that for real quick. So everyone, it's a big deal when Track starts indexing stuff, but like, we talk to people all the time, like Runes Mind guys, and they're indexing. Like, there's so many different organizations now that are doing their own indexing. It's not really that like sought after anymore that Track's doing it, to me, right?
Well, it's different whenever it's a SaaS, which is software as a service, or a service type indexing. So that's where, like, they're going to have APIs and stuff like that. I mean, look, I think that was Benny's like big dream, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Be an indexer / Oracle provider, B2B, and provide these crucial data points for these projects, right? So I imagine he's probably doing it for free right now on Doge until that ecosystem gets bigger, if it does. But yeah, so and it's good for Track to do this because now you're more comparing it to something like Chainlink, right? So if they can also extend to Bell's coin, I think, or Bell's chain, I think that's big for them too.
Yeah.
And he also says, Sogo also says, Doge Maps did a 20x within 3 days of me considering buying some. Yeah, there was a phase where Doginals, DRC20s, and they all had a run up, where people were making good money off of those. It's just died down. Imagine when Ordinals dies down and people think it's like Ordinals are dead, period. Doginals is like times 10 that because, Ordinals are obviously the king.
100%. Real quick though, I just want to with Bellcoin, it's only at a $30 million market cap.
Oh, it dropped because I think it went up to 80.
It might have.
Maybe it was fully
diluted.
Down
16% today. So
maybe it was fully diluted. Oh, okay. Go there. So what was it at when it peaked?
This is December 19th. It was at $2.70. This is this year, 2023.
Wow.
And it took that dip, and then it was kind of sitting flat here.
Can you go max?
I am. Oh no, I'm not max. That's as far as it's been indexed.
Yeah, because I know Bell's had some attention last year a little bit. I don't know if you remember that. It was very little, and so maybe it did spike up a little bit when that happened. It looks like it takes a big dump, but like everything
it did a 50% jump from last week or last month, so it's up 50% or 100%. I'm sorry, from last month. So, but yeah.
Yep. Crypto Rasta says I'm cool with anything that has UTXO based.
Yeah, me too. Just not Doge.
Runes Market says, what happens to the larger Rune projects?
I need more clarity on this question. What do you think he means?
Maybe RSIC. Meme projects are going to be based on community size. So dog, good. Dog's in a good spot. Uncommon goods in a good spot for long term. $1 billion cat is a tricky one. I think that the branding is there for sure. I think it has its definitely has its moment, but we're talking about 8,000 holders. So, I think $1 billion cats branding this next run up is definitely needs to get really hyper, like in higher gear. We, that token, in my opinion, needs something like 30,000, for a solid base. And I think it'll get there. It's super, super branded. So like the Bitcoin bees for the eyes of the cats, I think that's really, people aren't going to forget that is what I'm saying.
No, I agree 100%. Comment here. Okay. What's this one? Oh, you want to keep going. Sorry.
Crypto Rasta says, if there's an EVM involved, I'm just not that interested. Yeah, I get that. I do think that is a form of tribalism, but hey, everybody has their own opinion and right to like what they like, right? And I think that, for me, if like I look at Merlin Chain and some of these other Bitcoin layer 2s a little different than other EVMs. And I mean, crypto's going, if crypto is going to succeed, it's going to get to a point where this interoperability is going to happen more and more, right? But I get how the UTXO chains are more attractive. It's what you're used to. Plus, I think it possibly could be the narrative for this run, right? Let's just say that Bell's chain does, take off. We got Bells, we got Fractal, which is UTXO, obviously. We got Doge, we got Cardano, which is different, because I think like there's some bad juju with that. I just feel like I don't know. I hope that they can revive because I think there's good builders over there for sure. And then you never know, like if there's like these UTXO chains really getting this narrative, upgrading their chains, having computation ability, functionality on chain and off chain, using it both ways. It could be a UTXO chain narrative. And then you're talking about the likes of, okay, does Charlie Lee want to fire up his. I don't even know if he's in charge of Litecoin anymore, but like whoever's in charge of Litecoin in terms of core developers, do they get involved? Because I know they did at one point want to. So it's really, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is going to. Let's get Bitmap Gallery in. He says thoughts on FSIC. Disregarded it as a scam pretty quickly, but seems like they're legit with via Bitcoin connection.
I don't think.
Go ahead.
I don't know if they're a scam, honestly. What do you think?
Well, I think that, there's always the percentage of risk that you're going to take in new ecosystems. I think that they could have probably used a different name, but hey, maybe this works for them. Maybe, the using the FSIC instead of RSIC, maybe it works for their branding. I don't know. It made me kind of want to just back distance myself a bit. That doesn't mean that this won't be successful. Having a relationship with entities that have a trusted history is big, right? So I think we got to just kind of lay our bets here with the Fractal stuff and see what plays out. I think people are going to make a lot of money from Fractal. I think people are going to lose a lot of money from Fractal. And I think that's how every new ecosystem situation plays out. I think. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I thought I was the one that was disconnected.
Are we good? Did we disconnect for a second?
Yeah.
All right. We're good. All right. Sorry about that, guys. But that'll kind of bring us to the end of the show anyway. So.
Yeah. So, guys, 277 people on a little bit of a slower Wednesday, but we appreciate each and every one of you guys. We just want to let you know, like, how much we do appreciate you guys. I mean, you guys don't have to watch us on your lunch break or at all, right? And so the fact that you guys do choose to watch us, we are very, very grateful. And, we want to stay that way, in terms of our mindset. And so we appreciate each and every one of you guys showing up every day. And if you do get a chance, please check out our partners, BitPerp. We talked about them earlier as a sponsor our Bitcoin price action. They are a perpetual leverage DEX that's going to be launching soon on Botonics, I believe Q4. Their testnet is right around the corner. Stay tuned, follow them, and turn your notifications on so you can get updated with them. Ordinal Hive, we had them on Merlin Mondays. Look, Fonzie's an OG in the space, guys. Like, he's been here since early last year, and he's building on native Bitcoin as well as scaling out to Merlin chain. I believe they're going to have their fingerprints everywhere. They are the Blur of Bitcoin, to where you can earn points by trading, using tools, having, increasing your skill set as a trader. Go interact with their platform right now, beta.ordinalhive.io. It's open to everybody. Go earn points so you can trade those in for future possible tokens. Fluid Token is our partner that is a Bitcoin native layer runes DEX that utilizes buy and sell limit orders as liquidity. So basically, they break up your runes for you. You don't have to worry about that. Whatever the buyer wants, they try to match that up. It's a really cool thing that they're doing. They're innovating. They're adding layer one staking as well, guys. I mean, these guys are experienced, successful Cardano devs that extended their digital their crypto footprint by coming over here in Bitcoin. And then finally, you got Verothium DEX. Again, Sam, an OG in the space. He's built on Bitcoin Layer 1. He scaled out to Merlin chain, where they're focusing on BRC 420 single staking. Look out for their updates, as if you have a BRC 420, you might be able to single stake it there for the governance token of VDEX. And that wraps up our partners there.
Yeah, guys, and you guys wouldn't mind going to check out ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone new just getting into Ordinal, send them our website because we think we could really help them. They can really get caught up very quickly. And if you guys wouldn't mind, go and check out our store. We have some of the best merch in Ordinals, so check out that. Just go through, take a quick look, and if there's something that we don't have that you would like to get, just let us know. We can add that for you and stuff like that. So, and guys, we're live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. UTC. We'll be here every single day, guys, excluding the weekends, of course. But we appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with us, just like Yagobi said. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG, or no G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.